Cool.
I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm gonna pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes.
It's the old
He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped get off the island.
Let me get straight to the business. Yeah. Got them lions in the building. Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been to bed. Man, they know they no contest. Yahuwah, he do the bled. We will not see you tomorrow. Cause you cannot go to thought. All the sons and all the daughters. Standing hard with big manodas. But my son, he made me Taurus. On that line, I'm still a Taurus. Karate kicking Chuck Norris, 4-5 on my waist. If he started, will not hesitate to get retarded. Oh lordy, he ain't got a PowerPoint, he farted. He running to the hills like a Philistine. Jihad hitting Hamites with the guillotine. Situation turned up with the ratchet team. JJ 7000 to the bait league. I know them haters gon' hate me, but he won't debate me. Pistol off safety. He respond, come wake me. If I don't get up, nigga shake me. If he don't show up, then he fake G. I touch down and make these nigga nuts hate me. Dear brother. Ballin' and crawling all the way from H-Time. Let me get straight to the business. Man, them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? You gon' cry, you gon' get it. Me, I'm like a frog, nigga, ribbit. Of course, it's in the spirit. I just got the Porsche, she can steer it. Michael got the raw, Shaq and Willie. Lamborghini doors, you better not spill it. Mama's high, say I'm more than just a villain. Mama's cry, armed open wide for her children. Suicide, immortalized as the realest, yeah. Death by cop, black suicide. Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been there. Yeah. Man, they know they no contest. Yeah. Yahuwah, he do the bled. Wow, what's that? Why ain't they take it over? Number one debate league, you heard me? When it's up, it's stuck. I'm stepping on everything, nigga. Metaphorically, of course.
Karima, you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, we rolling.
We live?
Yeah.
Elder Chaazaq, we live, so you can come on. I'm gonna introduce you.
All right. Hey, Shalom, I'm ready.
So we got a treat for you tonight. Elder Chaazaq is coming in to explain about the tribe of Dan, and there's been a lot of misconception about Dan. So Elder Chaazaq is going to explain Dan's role and Dan's place in the kingdom. So without any further ado, Elder Chaazaq, introduce yourself to the people.
Shalom, Shabbat shalom to all the people that's viewing the Lion's Den. Thank you for coming to see what's going on.
Excuse me, Elder Chaazaq, we can't see you.
You can't see me?
Nah.
Yeah, I
can't
can see
you.
it. Yeah, I can. I can see him.
I can't see him though. I can hear him though.
I can see him, and everybody can see him. Pretty
Oh,
sure.
okay. All right. Okay. No problem.
Yeah, I like to thank Karima, Yeshayada. I like to thank the whole panel for allowing me to come back on the Lions Den and to continue further into teaching and to clarify a lot of the misconceptions and the false teachings out there. And all praises to the Most High for giving me this opportunity. I feel like it's my obligation to come forth and to bring this truth out, because you already know is the scripture says there are thousands of, I'm paraphrasing, 10,000 followers of teachers of Christ, but not many fathers. So as you know, I've been around a long time representing this word. And now you got a lot of other people out there, thousands, hundreds of brothers out there probably, out there talking about different things about the scriptures and not really having the whole facts. So this show is about bringing forth one of the tribes of Israel that's not spoken of. And it's in the scriptures in Revelation, the 7th chapter. One of the tribes of Dan, the tribe of Dan, is not spoken of, and it's been a lot of controversy over the sign that is out there that supposedly represent the 12 tribes of Israel on that sign, and of course Dan is not on there, and so that's what this is all about. It's about time to come out of the darkness into the light. It's about time to come out of the dark ages and bring this up to date. Dan is one of the sons of Jacob, born from Bilhah, which is which is a handmaid of Rachel. And when you read, we're going into the scriptures. What we got first?
Romans 11:1.
Let's go. We're gonna run through it, and everybody pay close attention so you can get it. We're gonna start at Romans 9 and 1.
No, 11 and
11 and 1. I'm sorry, 11 and 1.
Romans 11:1. I say then, has Yahweh cast away his people?
Now that's the question, because when you go to Revelation, the 7th chapter, he's not mentioning. We're gonna go there, but it says, "I say then." This is Paul speaking. Has the Most High cast away his people? Who is his people? The Israelites. Read on.
Yahweh forbids.
Yeah, Yahweh forbid, meaning no. Read on.
For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Yeah, so Paul said he also is an Israelite. So who's it? That letting you know who the Most High's people are, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. And so he said, I too am an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin, of the nation of Israel. Read on.
Yahweh has not cast away his people.
Meaning no, he has not cast away his people. Read on.
Which he foreknew.
Which he foreknew, meaning which he knew from the past. Now, when you go to, let's start going to some of these verses on Dan here. And what I'm going to attempt to do, I'm going to go from the beginning of Dan until when he was born, until the time that he went into captivity, like the other northern tribes went into captivity. But for some reason, our leaders wasn't able to figure this out, or I don't know why he left this out. But it's a crucial part of the scriptures. We're getting ready to go into Passover in another month or so, and even quoted in the scriptures by Yahweh, by Christ. He said, if you got 100 sheep and one of them is missing, you leave the 99 and you go find the one. Why nobody never really followed up to try to figure out what was going on with this tribe? How can you rejoice and be happy and celebrating? Come on, we celebrating the 12 tribes of Israel and the Passover and all these days, and one of your brothers is missing. You understand? because you're going to be drinking and laughing, you know. So I say from that, Bon Dan, Quam Dan, under the Melchizedek order, rise up Dan. So the puzzle is not complete. That sign is not complete until you bring your brother home. So we're going to go to the birth of Dan, Genesis, the 30th chapter, the 1st through the 6th verse. Genesis,
The 30th chapter.
yep, the 1st through the 6th verse. And we're gonna trace him down. Because that brother's supposed to be, that tribe's supposed to be on that sign. Now, if you don't know who he is, we don't know who he is, guess what? He's still supposed to be put up there, and you can put unknown there. How about that? We got all these wise brothers. The whole premise that our elders were supposed, that the teacher before me had brought this out, the mark of the lost races and the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
And the whole premise is we found the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
But based on not being able to break down Revelation, 7th chapter, they left Dan off. And he got to be the most miserable one of all of us. Because we rejoicing about the 12 tribes. Right now, the Israelite movement is going all over the world. In Africa, Asia, all over it. It's talked about the 12 tribes now. Okay, let's go there. Let's get to the birth of it. Read on.
Genesis 30:1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children.
So Rachel couldn't have no children, and Leah was having the babies, and which is Laban's daughter, Rachel and Leah. And so Rachel couldn't have no children. And so it was an honor for a woman to bring forth children back then. And so we're going to read on. She's going to give, Rachel's going to give Jacob Bilhah to bring forth a child now, because the Most High has a room barren at this time. Read on.
Or else I die.
Or else I die. So it was an honor to have children. It was a big thing. Women was whispering about other women that couldn't bring, she can't bring him no seed. So it was a big thing. Read on.
And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel.
So Jacob got mad with Rachel. His anger got kindled. Read on.
And he said, am I in Yah's stead, who has withheld from thee the fruit of the womb?
Yeah, he's like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's the Most High holding the fruit of the womb from you being able to have a child at this point. Read on.
And she said, behold, my maid, Bilhah, go into her, and she shall bear upon my knees.
So Rachel told Jacob to go into Bilhah and just to bring a child, just like Sarah couldn't get pregnant or couldn't have a child in the beginning. The Most High told her that she through her and Abraham, they were going to have many nations.
Right.
And so Sarah gave Hagar to Abraham to have a child. So just to bring the seed of the Most High forth. And so now you're seeing Rachel doing this to Jacob through her handmaid, which is Bilhah. Read on.
That I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. And Jacob went into her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel said, Yah has judged me, and has also heard my voice, and has given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan.
So there was Dan. Here's Dan. So this is the birth of Dan through Bilhah. And then she conceived another child after that. And the name of that child is, what verse you in now?
I'm in 7th.
Okay, the name of that child is after Dan is Naphtali.
Yup, Khan. Naphtali.
So Belha had two children, Dan and Naphtali. And so later on, guess what happened? The Most High opened Rachel's womb up, and she was able to have Joseph, and she was able to have Benjamin. She died in childbirth with Benjamin. And so this is one of the families of Jacob. So now you got Dan, you got Naphtali, then from Bilhah, and then from Rachel, when she was able to have a baby, she had Joseph and Benjamin, Ben-Yamyan. And so there's four parties, four sons there now. Guess what? If anybody should be looking for Dan, it should be who? That was the unit. Should be Benjamin, and it should be Ephraim, and really and Manasseh, because they was of the same household. But you got brothers running around talking about we're gonna save the Gentiles, and we're gonna save these people,
right?
And you don't even have no concern about your own brother. Benjamin, so to speak, and Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh, you should be the main one looking for Dan.
Calm.
He's somewhere, and we're gonna track him down before the evening is over. Okay, let's go from there. And then of course we know that Leah had children. Her children was Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and then she had Dinah, the daughter, and she had these. She had sons from Jacob, and then Zilpah had two sons, which is her handmaid, which is Leah's handmaid, which was Gad and Asher. Okay, now let's go from there. So we know when Dan was born now. So later on, what happened then? Go to Genesis 35, 9 to the end. We continue on.
Genesis 35 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
And Yah appeared unto Jacob again, and when he came out of Padaran, and blessed him, and Yah said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name.
And so Jacob's name was changed after he wrestled with the angel. His name was changed unto Israel, Yashar, which means a prince of power. That's what our name means. That's what the nation names mean, prince of power. And so read on.
And he called his name Israel, Yashar.
Mm-hmm.
And Yah said unto him, I am Yah Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply, a nation and a company of nations.
And so Jacob is going to have a company of nations. That's why when the scriptures speak about, a lot of brothers misconceive that understanding too, that the Most High is looking for all nations. He told Jacob, you're going to be a company of many nations, because each tribe represents a nation. Each tribe today represent a nation. You got Issachar, so-called Mexican, they're a nation. You got Benjamin, they're a nation. You got Levi, you got nations. You got Judah. Judah is so many people, they like a nation. So that's what he's talking about. He's going to save the nation. The nation that the Most High came for is the nation of Israel. All right, so where we at? Go ahead.
Shall be of shall be of thee, and king shall come out of thy loins.
And kings shall come out of our loins, out of Jacob's loins. Okay, go from there. Now we're gonna follow it up. We're gonna go after Jacob had these sons. Eventually, they're gonna go into Egypt. So now we're gonna track Dan into Egypt. Go from there to in Egypt, Genesis 46:3. Genesis 46:3.
Genesis 46:3. And he said, I am Yah, the power of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt.
So when the famine had hit the land of Canaan, where Jacob and his sons was living, the Most High told them, fear not, go down into Egypt. You know, because they had to go down there. It was a famine. They had to go down there to get food and everything. Read on.
For I will there make of thee a great nation.
We became a nation in Egypt, a great nation. Read on.
I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again.
So he went down into Egypt, and he said he's going to definitely bring him back up again. A great nation. Okay, read on.
And Joseph shall put his hand upon thy eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the son of Yeshala carried Jacob, their father, and their little ones, and their wives in wagons, where Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seeds with him.
Yeah, so guess what? Jacob and all his seed with him. So now we track Dan into Egypt. So Dan went to Egypt. That's why I named this, the topic is the one lost tribe of Israel, because Israel, this was the only tribe that is not mentioned of, and so forth. And we got him going into Egypt. Now read on.
His son and his son's sons with him, his daughters and his son's daughters, and all his seeds brought he with him into Egypt.
Brought them all into Egypt. All of them came into Egypt. Read on.
And these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt, Jacob and his sons. Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and the sons of Reuben, Hanak, and Palu, and Hezron.
Right. These are the sons of Reuben that came down in Egypt. Read on.
And Carmi.
Okay. Now we know that it's naming the sons of Jacob and their sons. Now we want to get down to the ones we tracking Dan. So skip down to 22 and 23. Read that.
Genesis 46:22. These are the sons of Rachel, which were born to Jacob. All the souls were 14.
So that clan that was with Rachel, which is Joseph, Ephraim, sons. But Joseph and Ephraim was born down there in Egypt. So that clan that Jacob went down in Egypt with was 14 souls. Read on the 23rd verse. That's it right there.
And the sons of Dan.
And the sons of Dan. Read on.
Husham.
Yep. So Dan's son went down into Egypt. So there he is. He went down into Egypt. And his other brother, Naphtali, he went down in there. Read that, the 24th verse.
And the sons of Naphtali, Jazel, and Guni, and Jezal, and Shillem.
Right. And I go up to the 19th verse and read that.
The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph, and Benjamin.
Yep. Because Joseph went down in there. He was sold down in Egypt by his brother. Read on.
And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim.
So Manasseh and Ephraim. So that's the clan right there that we want to stick with. We want to stick with the family of Dan. So we done found everybody else according to everybody else, all the Israelites anyway. So we want to stick to Dan. So that's the clan. So they went down into Egypt. All right. And all right. Let's see where we want to go from there. 28. Read the 28th verse.
And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen.
And that's where we went, in Egypt, in the land of Goshen. Okay, let's go from there. Here's the other part, Genesis 49 chapter. So we still in Egypt, right? Start at the first verse and let's hit that.
Genesis 49:1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
So where was Jacob talking to them at? In Egypt. And so he's telling them what's going to befall them in the last days. I made the statement before on the previous shows. All the Israelite groups can come together and they got many disagreements, but we all agree that we are living in the last days. So Jacob called his sons together before he died, and he told his sons, including Dan, what was going to befall them in the last days. Now let's skip down to the 16th verse. We already know about the other tribes. Let's read what it says about Dan in the last days.
Okay.
16th verse.
Genesis 49:16. Dan shall judge his people.
Dan shall judge his people. When did Dan judge his people? Really, Dan judges people during the time of Samson, because there was no kings in Israel. And Samson was a strong leader that went up against them Philistines and destroyed a whole lot of people that came the enemies against Israel. Dan's name represents a judge. Dan's name also represents strength. So when you get rid of Dan, and he represents a judge, justice, when you get rid of Dan, you're getting rid of the strength, and one main source of strength in Egypt.
Tribe.
So Dan should be a judge of his people as one of the tribes of Israel. And we know Samson came through him. Read on.
Genesis 49:16.
Yep, read 16 and 17. Read on.
Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel.
Yeah, he's a judge. Read on.
Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that biteth the horse's heel.
Now, this is a real mystery and a clue. This is a real mystery and a clue. And see, the scripture says some of the scriptures is milk for babes, and some of it is strong meat. Some of you gonna get this, and some of you won't get it. But here it is anyway. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that biteth the horse's heel. What is that talking about? Because you got a lot of these brothers riding high in the saddle, right? Puffed up in knowledge, think they know it all, and they ain't figured out what's going on with their brother Dan. I always say that guy that on the corner that's homeless, destitute, the worst of all of us, be careful. He might be Dan standing there. Give him a call, give him something. Help him. Because you don't know who he is. So Dan has got to be feeling the worst of all of us, because all of us has been identified except him. He's left out. And he ain't do no more worse than none of the other tribes. We've all fallen short of the glory of the Most High. Well, we're going to go into that history too, because some of the scholars said he was eliminated in Revelation, the 7th chapter, because of apostasy. And we're going to cover that too, because he was the one that had the calves up there in Bethel under Jeroboam, and they instead of the northern kingdom coming to Jerusalem to worship the Most High, they sent them up there to worship them calves up there in Bethel in the land of Dan. And so this is why some scholars said Dan is omitted. Well, no, he's never omitted. Most High has not cast away his people, which he foreknew. So we read in the 17th verse again. It says, say that again.
Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that biteth the horse heels.
And all you high brothers that ride high in the saddle that think you know some knowledge, that serpent Dan, you can't figure that out. He bite that horse heel and you're going to what? Fall backwards. You're going to realize that you don't know what should know. The scripture says it must need be that you be taught again. Read on.
So that his rider shall fall backwards.
You fall backwards. So suppose some of these scholarly brothers like to get up there and do all these debates with all these other different groups, and they come and pull this scripture on you, and you can't explain it. But you got your leaders. You got your leaders you look up to. Ask them where Dan at. And don't tell me he's over in Denmark or he's a Colossian so-called Jew. Don't tell me he's over there in Ghana. He was brought here, and we're going to show you that. He was brought here along with the 10 tribes that came over here to the Americas. Now, once they got over here, you identified all the other ones, but you didn't identify him because we showing him in the Old Testament. When you get in the New Testament, his name ain't there, according to you, but it's there. It's hidden in the precepts. And we're going to show you that. Read on.
I have waited for thy salvation.
And Dan, read that. I have what? Read it again.
Genesis 49 and 18. I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord.
And that's what Dan said. He waiting for the salvation of the Lord. He waiting for it. Because if it was left up to us, we'd walk right on past him and say the Gentiles. And Yahweh Shah said, let the children first be fed. It is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. So you want to take this and give it to the Gentiles, so to speak. And by the way, we're going to come forth and show you about this Gentile thing. This is going to be my next subject. We're going to show you who the light of the Gentiles really is and who it's really talking about. Because you got misconception on that too. All right. I've waited for thy salvation, O Lord. That's what Dan said. He waiting on the Lord to bring him salvation. Because he ain't there going to sure ain't get it from his brother. So check this out. All you Israelites that have been stepped on, all you Israelites that have been abused and ostracized by these other brothers and looked down on and done wrong, and mistreated, cast to the side, you got to feel just like Dan forgot about. But the Lord ain't forgot you. He gonna bring you forth. Now, let's see where we're at now. 46, 49. We're in Genesis 49. Right. And then we're gonna go from there to we know what happened after that. Jacob passed away in Egypt, and Joseph passed away, and they put Joseph in a coffin in Egypt, and they embalmed him just like they do the Egyptians. And even Jacob, they brought Jacob back into the land of Canaan, and they had a big mourning for him, and they buried him where they in that cave. In the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which Abraham had got and bought, and so forth, to bury our forefathers in. And so that's where they brought Jacob at. And then Joseph told him, when you leave Egypt, make sure you bring my bones up out of here too. And let me make a statement on this. It's ironic that this so-called Jew has not, you never hear about him talking about the mummies and the tombs of the Israelites, right? And only a few 100 miles away in Egypt, they done found tens of thousands of mummies. But you never hear them talking about mummies in Israel. What happened to the cave where Abraham buried the dead? What happened to where the kings of Israel was buried in the city of David? Where the lineage of the royal kingship of the Israelites. What happened to all their tombs engraved? You don't find no mummies of them. You know why? Because they know that DNA will prove that they ain't the people. So they ain't got no mummies in Israel, but you got 1 million mummies in Egypt. But anyway, that's another subject. Let's get back on Dan. All right. We going from there to let's see what we want.
I got John 5 and 39.
John 5 and what?
39. You want to go there?
What was that on?
I think that's on.
Yeah. Let's go children of Genesis 49. Let's see, Genesis 49. 50. Okay, I know what I want to get.
Okay.
Here we go. Yep. Yeah, all of them left. It's the part where Abraham went and Abraham was buried. That was in the field. That was in the cave of in the land of Canaan. And Joseph passed away, like I said, and then they took him out. And then I know what I want. We want to go to and Joseph died in Egypt at 110 years old. Now we want to go to Exodus, first chapter. Just bear with me. We're going to get to it. Exodus, the first chapter. One page, yep. And the first verse.
Exodus 1 and 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin. Dan. Stop
right there. That's the fourth verse. Dan came in Egypt. So we know he's in Egypt. Read on.
And Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. For Joseph was in Egypt already.
That's right. Read on.
And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation.
Right, they all died. All the patriarchs, they died in Egypt. All that generation. Read on.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them.
And so we multiplied after the patriarchs, the sons died. What came out with their children and out of Egypt and went into the land of Canaan. And so we know what happened after that. The land was filled with us. And then the Pharaoh rose up that didn't know Joseph anymore. And that's when they started putting a heavy burden on us. And then we stayed there in Egypt until we came out by the hand of Moses. And Moses led us into the land of Canaan. After we got into the land of Canaan, guess what? After we got into the land of Canaan, after Moses and Aaron died, there was no kings in Israel at that time, so it was during the time of the judges. Let's see where we want to go. Exodus 31, okay. 31st chapter.
Okay.
First verse, and through the 11th verse. Now check this out, what we get ready to go into now.
All right.
What we get ready to go into now, after we got into the land, we know that Samson, during the time of the judges, Samson rose up, and then he rose up and fought our enemies for us. And then after that, let's go get Samson now. After Moses led us out, and then Joshua and Moses, what happened then? Then we start fighting for the land, for the tribes. That's what I want to go into that. I want to go into that now.
Okay.
Let's go to territory tribe with the tribes. I believe we right at Judges. Let's go to Judges, the first chapter.
Judges first chapter.
And the 34th to the 36th verse.
Okay, come. 34 to 36.
Yeah, let me get that to you. All right, y'all bear with me for a second. I'm moving a little slow, but we want to make sure we get everything we supposed to get so you can get it. What I call for you?
You said Judges 1, 34 and 36.
Okay, Judges. Now check this out.
So Dan went into Egypt. He was in Egypt.
When Dan went into Egypt, came out of Egypt. Now Dan is in the Holy Land.
Okay.
He's led by Moses, and then Joshua getting ready to give them their portion, their lot.
Okay, come.
In the land.
Okay.
And what I call for?
You said 34 or Judges 1, 34, 32, 36.
Okay. Read that.
Judges 1, 34. And the Amorites forced the children of Dan into the mountain, for they would not suffer them to come down to the valley.
So when Dan got ready to get his land by distribution, they had each tribe had to go and fight for the land. By the way, each tribe had to go and fight the Canaanites for the land. Now, Dan's land started right down into the area of right between Judah's land. He had a small portion right there between Judah and Benjamin and Ephraim down in that area. So he had a small portion of the land. And he couldn't get them daggone Canaanites out, so they had to go up into the mountain. And so read on. That's what we're reading about now.
Judges 1 and 35. But the Amorites would dwell in the Mount Heres, in Ajalon, and in Shalbim, Salakim. Yet the hand of the house of Joseph prevailed.
So Joseph, the hand of Joseph prevailed. So they got them. They subdued them Canaanites, and so Dan was able to get that land that he had. Where you at?
Judges 1, 35.
Okay, read on.
So that they became tributaries. Let me read it over. Judges 1, 35. But the Amorites would dwell in Mount Heres, in Ajalon, and in Shalbim. Yet the hand of the house of Joseph prevailed, so that they became tributaries.
Yeah, so they became tributaries because Joseph, which is the house of Ephraim and Manasseh, they was able to help subdue them Hamites, and them Hamites became tributary. Don't forget, Joseph, which is Ephraim and Manasseh, Naphtali and Dan, and Benjamin is of the same family group. And so that's what happened. So now we're going to go, and by the way, when Dan got this land down here among Judah, it was a small portion. And so they became so big, that they had to go up northeast and take another land, because when they was going out to fight, and I believe it was during the time of Moses. Let's go there. Let's go to Numbers 2:31. During this time, when Moses and Joshua was setting up the tribes to go in and fight for their land, the army of Judah was 100,600 in numbers. I'm sorry. Yep, let me see. Yep, no, the number of Judah was 186,400 in numbers. My bad. And Judah had the largest army to go out and fight against the Canaanites. And Dan had the second largest army, which was 100,600, 157,600. And so you got all these people and all these warriors throughout the history, and all this contribution that Dan made And then in the end, he's not even recognized. Okay, where we at?
You said Numbers
2:31.
Numbers 2:31. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers 2:31. All they that were numbered in the camp of Dan were 100,050 and 7,600. They shall go hindmost with their standards.
Yeah, so see how many of Dan? And so guess what? Dan got so big, they didn't get all their land. They got so big that they had to go up northeast into the land up about Syria. So the 12 tribes were strategically placed throughout the land. Dan was in the northeast. Let me get that. Dan's in the northeast. Get a map. Get to the map. Yep. 12 tribes. So Dan is in the northeast, up there by Syria. You got the other tribes, the southern tribe, the southern kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin. They down in the south, down by the sea, the Salt Sea, and so forth. Then you got Ephraim in Samaria, in that area. And you got Gad, and you got in Gilead in that area. And then you got Zebulon. And so all the tribes are strategically placed. And so when you take Dan out and say Dan don't exist no more, and Dan is up in the northeast, that whole border is open for penetration from the northeast. See? So it's crucial. All right, where we left off at? Numbers 2.
Numbers 2.
2.
And we in
31.
We in the 32nd verse now.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's see what that says. I want that or not. 32nd. Mm-hmm. Yep, read on.
These are those which are numbered of the children of Israel by the house of their fathers. All those that were numbered of the camps throughout their hosts was 600,000 and 3,550.
So they were naming the army. Moses was naming the army. Go from there to the same chapter, 2:25. Numbers 2:25.
Numbers 2:25. The standard of the camp of Dan shall be on the north side by their armies, and the captain of the children of Dan shall be Ahazar, the son of Ammishaddai.
Right, that's it. That's it. So, hey, he's just as important as everybody else. He's right there. He's right there. Okay, so let's see where we want to go from there. Let's go to Judges 18. 29.
Judges 18.
Let me get that on. Judges 18:29. Let's see what that says.
Gotcha.
18. Okay. All right, let's see what that is. We might want to no, we're gonna wait to say that one for later. That's the gripper. Let's go to 2 Kings 16, 7 and 10.
16 and 10.
Yeah, 2 Kings
16 and 10.
2 Kings 16. Okay, no, that one's gonna wait. We're gonna wait on that one. 1 Chronicles 5 and 26. Let's see what that says. Now, what I'm leading up to is the time that Dan went into the captivity. So now I think I can pretty much go into First Chronicles 5:26. Now I think I can go into and show you why this hypothesis and go into Revelation 5 and First Kings 5:26. Let's see what that's. Okay, that's the whole time that the televisor came up against us. So now let's do this. Let's go to Revelation. I think I want that. Revelation, the 7th chapter. And we're going to bring this thing, we're going to bring it all the way in. Revelation, the 7th chapter. Revelation 7, and let's start at the first verse and read on down.
Revelation
to the 8th verse. Yep.
Revelation 7:1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seals of the living power.
So this is about the 144,000. And when you read about the 144,000, of all the tribes of the children of Israel, which supposed to represent the body, the government of Israel, our brother Dan is not mentioning that. Read on.
And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads.
So the 4 angels, the angels was put over this, over the land, and hurt not the, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their forehead. Now, we're getting ready to seal up the 144,000, like a lot of brothers like to talk about, 144,000. It's going to be more than 144,000 saved, by the way. Some brothers teach, it's only going to be 144,000. No, it's going to be a number that you can't count. That's going to be saved. Read on.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed, and 144,000 of all the tribes of Israel, of children of Israel.
Right. Read on.
Of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000.
We know Judah. Read on.
Of the tribe of Reuben was sealed 12,000.
2. Read on.
Of the tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000.
3. Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Asher was sealed 12,000.
4. Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Naphtali was sealed 12,000.
5. Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Manasseh was sealed 12,000.
6. Read on.
And of the tribe of Simeon was sealed 12,000.
7. Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Levi was sealed 12,000.
8.
And of the tribe of Issachar was sealed 12,000.
9. Read on.
Of the tribe of Zebulun was sealed 12,000.
10.
Of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000.
11.
Of the tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000.
Now see what this is? This is some slick stuff done right here. There's some slick stuff right here. Let me show you why. These scholars knew what they were doing when they're doing this. See, that's why you got to know about, and we coming from the perspective of causative authority. Causative authority meaning that the Bible, we stand on the word of the Bible. Causative authority means a term used in describing the power of the Bible of attesting itself as divine truth. That's what we stand on. So it's called causative authority. Now, when these scholars got this word and they go into this word, and we know we got this King James 1611 edition, and we know King James came out of Scotland. And then, you know, you had a lot of other mystics and all these other Gnostics and all these other cats that were during King James era. And then they even talk about people that had influence in translating this book, like John Dee, Francis Bacon. These guys, mystics and so forth, whether they had a part in this or not. Then on Elizabeth, you had these Rosicrucians cats called who? Robert Flood. Then you had Anastasia Kurtzer, which was polymath dudes. These guys were highly intelligent. And so what they wanted to do, they wanted to control this word and slightly and take things out. And you know the Most High says in Revelation, he said, if any man add or take on to this, all the plagues in this book going to be added unto him. So did Esau and these guys and these nations, even among our own Masonic orders of the brothers that got this book, because I understand this same book is sitting on the altar for what my study is in the Masonic houses and in their lodges. So they tried to mess with this word. That's what they did by taking Dan out. And then I'm going to show you the misconception in this revelation. Always keep in mind what we read. We got the 12 tribes. And guess what? Dan was the one under Belaziel in a holy bar, I think Elabar, one of them name, I might be misquoting. They was the one that made the Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark of the Covenant.
They was the one, Judah and Dan was the one that made all the relics and all the service instruments of the Most High for the Aaron priesthood. Dan was the one that he was cutting in metal and gold. He was the one that had something to do with the 7 candlesticks, the menorah. So you mean to tell me this brother made the Ark of the Covenant, him and Judah, and they made the ephod and the holy breastplate of Aaron, which had the 12 in gold, that had the 12 stones represent the 12 tribes of Israel. And by the way, that one of the sons was Joseph. Ephraim and Manasseh is Jacob's grandsons, even though they was brought in to be tribes, but it really supposed to be Joseph there, because you got Joseph there, you got Ephraim and Manasseh automatically. That's how it's supposed to be. Ephraim and Manasseh is not in the breastplate of Aaron. It's Joseph.
Right.
Go and look it up. It's Joseph. Because Joseph is the father of Ephraim and Manasseh. But Jacob adopted them as tribes and brought them in. So with Joseph, you can have Joseph there, like it says in Genesis 49 chapter. And Joseph and Ephraim and Manasseh is automatically in Joseph. Back here in Revelation, what we read now, the 7th chapter, you got Joseph mentioned, you got Manasseh mentioned, but you don't have Ephraim mentioned.
Sure don't.
So why did they do that? It's called Bible textual manipulation. It's called interpolations, taking in and adding out. And then it's called Bible inerrancy. These scholars knew what they were doing when they did this. See, so you mentioned the tribes, and if you put Joseph there, it's 12 tribes, and you got Levi there in the beginning when they did all this. And remember, Levi didn't have a land. Levi lived wherever they among the tribes. He wasn't issued a land. He lived wherever in the suburbs, and he lived good too in the suburbs of the tribes. And so now they got Levi as one of the tribes sealed, and so forth. Now, let's break this down. Of the tribe of it mentioned all the 12 tribes of the tribe of Judah, 12,000, Reuben 12,000, Gad 12,000, Asher 12,000, Naphtali 12,000, Manasseh 12,000, Simeon 12,000, Levi 12,000, Zebulon, Issachar 12,000, Zebulon 12,000, and see they put Joseph, were sealed 12,000, and then the tribe of Benjamin. Joseph is not a tribe. Joseph is a son. Ephraim, Manasseh is the tribes. And then these are tribes from the other sons of Jacob. And so now, why would you have Joseph there, and then you got Manasseh there too? So what it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be the same way like you got in Genesis 49th chapter. Check it out. Genesis 49. It's supposed to be Judah, Zebulon, Issachar, Dan, Simeon, right?
Right.
And let's see, Benjamin,
Yep.
Gad, Asher, Naphtali. And then it tell you the 22nd verse of Genesis 40, Joseph is a fruitful bone. So he had Ephraim and Manasseh. And so that's how the 12 tribes supposed to be written, even in Revelation. That's how it's supposed to be written. Then when you get to Revelation, you got Joseph, Manasseh, and then they left out Ephraim. And then here, they leaving out who? They leaving out Dan. And they leave out Ephraim. And remember, Levi lived among the tribes. So that's what those scholars did. They left that out. And so, and we know Benjamin was one of the sons of Rachel too as well. Right? And so now you got Benjamin and Joseph, right? From Rachel.
Right.
And then you left out Dan from Bilhah. And then you put one of them up there, Naphtali, his brother. And then you added Manasseh. So, all right. So
Bible textual manipulation.
that's what that is. Bible textual manipulation. Now, okay. Where are we at now?
Revelation 7 and 9.
Revelation 7 and 9. Okay, read on.
After this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues.
So when it says all nation and people and tongue, all that means, and I'm going to say this right, straight down the middle, all that means is what the Most High told Jacob, you should be a father of many nations.
Wow.
So those are the nations that the Most High coming to save. He ain't coming to save all these other people. They already saved. They got their paradise now. He's coming to save the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's what it's talking about all those other nations. And Israel is scattered throughout all the nations, by the way. Read on.
Of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues.
That's right. We're going to have Israelites that speak in all tongues. Japanese, Chinese, Mandarin, Spanish, everything. German, everything. Because they come and we are scattered throughout all nations. You know? Read on.
Stood before the thrones and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
That's right.
And cried with a loud voice, saying,
is that it? Read on.
Salvation to our power was sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb.
That's right. That's what the salvation coming for us. All right. Now let's go here. Let's go and run this down now. There's probably going to be some things that I kind of I skipped over and didn't mention, but I think we coming up to the bulk of it. Now we're going to go and show you exactly, since they left him out of Revelation, we're going to go and show you exactly what happened to Dan and where he went. Now let's go from there to, let's see where we want to go here. We want to go to the point with Micaiah. I know where we want. Let's go to Judges, the 18th chapter. Let's see if that's the one. And then Joshua had something to say too. Joshua 19. Let's see if that's it. Joshua 19. And Joshua mentioned them. Okay. Let's go and get Joshua 19 before you go there, Chaazaq, please. Joshua 19 and 40 to the end. Remember I was saying Dan took the northeast land up there around Syria, and that was a protective measure. Now in Revelation, if he ain't there and we sitting up in the land, that whole area is open. Who gets his land? He went out and warred for that and took that. Joshua, right after Deuteronomy.
Joshua, you said 19 and 20?
Yeah, Joshua 19 and 40. Now check this out. This is Dan's land, so nobody don't claim it. He coming back for it too, by the way.
19 and 40.
In Ezekiel, I think it says from Beersheba to Dan. Because he started down around Judah and ended up all the way up northeast. He had two lands. Dan had two pieces of land, by the way. Two portions were given to him. Just like Joseph was given two portions. They tried to kill Joseph out. Ain't that ironic? They're still trying to kill him out. You know, that's another topic and another story. Yeah. But brothers sold Joseph down in Egypt, tried to get him done in, and they were jealous of him. And then, of course, you got quite a few Josephs. Right. And then Christ's dad, biological father, Joseph. They want to get rid of him too. That's another topic for another time. Right. All right, let's go back to Dan. Joshua 19 and 40.
Joshua 19 and 40.
To the 48th verse. Read that.
And the 7 lots came out for the tribe of the children of Dan.
Right.
According to their family.
Right. Now they got their portion. Well, what's going to happen to their portion? Somebody going to run in there and take it? Read on.
And the coast of their inheritance was Zarah.
Zarah, read on.
And Ethol.
And Ethol, read on.
And Ershemesh.
Ershemesh.
And Shalabin.
Shalabin.
And Jalan.
All these areas they got. Read on. This is the land. They went and fought the Canaanites and took this land. Read on.
And Jekla.
Right.
And Elam.
Right.
And Tamantah.
Right.
And Ekron.
Read on.
And Eltekah.
Mm-hmm.
And Jibbathon.
Right.
And Balath.
Read on.
And Jahud.
Right.
And Benabrak.
Right.
And Jethramon.
Right.
And Medrakan.
Right.
And Rakan.
Right.
With the borders before Jaffa.
And Jaffa is right down there by Jaffa. So that'll be below what they call Tel Aviv right now, and which is Samaria. That would be Ephraim's land right up in there. And then going all the way down by Jaffa, going a little further down, all that was Dan's land. Matter of fact, I've been to Tel Aviv, so it was footprint right there in Dan's land, and it ain't went nowhere. Still there. Read on.
And the coast of the children of Dan went out too little for them.
So that coast went out too little for them up there around Judah and Benjamin, where they had a portion of land right there. Read on.
Therefore, the children of Dan went up to fight against Leshem.
It went up to fight against Leshem. So they said, this land here too small. We ain't got a good coast. Let's go up there up top, up there by the Syrians and get them Hamites up there. Read on.
And took it.
And took it. Read on.
And smoked it.
And smoked it. Read on.
With the edge of the sword.
They killed people to get that land. Read on.
And possessed it.
And they possessed it. Read on.
And dwelt therein.
Read on.
And called Leshem Dan, after the name of Dan, their father.
That's right. They took that north and northeast portion. Read on.
This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Dan, according to their families. These cities with their villages.
That's right. These cities with their villages. And that's what they took. Now, let's go from there to, that was Joshua 19. Let's go from there to Judges, the 18th chapter. Now, here's what happened. This is why, like I said earlier, they said Dan was eliminated in Revelation because he brought apostasy and so forth. and really defiled the northern kingdom with them worshiping calves and so forth up there in the land of Bethel, which was the land, I believe, of Jacob had built an altar up there. I believe Jacob or Abraham, not mistaken, built altar. That land area was holy. And then when Jeroboam took over the throne, he was so wicked that he had all the kings, most who was wicked anyway, and of that northern kingdom. And so after Judah and the northern kingdom split up, instead of they sending every year, you had to go to Jerusalem for the feast days. Instead of the tribes going to Jerusalem for the feast days, they were so wicked, they went and built some calves up there in Bethel, land of Dan, and had the northern kingdom going up there worshiping those idols. And this is probably one of the reasons after Solomon's son Rehoboam came on the throne, and that northern kingdom had split, and they went wicked, and they stayed wicked the whole time till they went into captivity. And then I think it was Abijah. Abijah stood up, and he tried to live right after Rehoboam, and he went to war with the northern kingdom. Right. And it was ugly. He took out over 500,000 people, the Most High Israelites of that northern kingdom. And a lot of the Israelites went back under Judah then. Even when Judah and I think it was some of them great kings were having the Passover, a lot of them didn't want to go up there and worship them daggone calves in the northern quarters. And a lot of them came and stayed with Judah and Benjamin and worshiped with them. It's talked about that in the scriptures. But it was a big apostasy with this brother Dan. And so now we're going to go and read about it. And we're going to show you in this chapter, what happened.
Break down what apostasy means.
Apostasy meaning going totally against the order of the law and bringing a whole nother element in of corruption and wickedness and idolatry worship and all of that. Totally took them out of course of what they're supposed to be, worshiping the Most High, had them worshiping everything else. They were sacrificing their kids by Molech, all the demonic gods. That's what that northern kingdom had the tribes going into until they was shut down and taken into captivity. So now we're going to show you the defilement that came forth. Read
Judges 18.
18. Start at the first verse.
Judges 18:1. In those days there were no king in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And in those days the tribe of Danites sought them an inheritance to dwell in.
Mm-hmm.
For unto that day all their inheritance had not fallen unto them among the tribes of Israel.
So they didn't get all their inheritance. So that's why they ended up taking that little bit of land there by Judah and Benjamin. And then later on they got so big they went up northeast, up there and by what they call it, I think it's Ijon or one of them up there, Tasha, Ijon, and that's their land up there. All right, read on.
And the children of Dan sent of their families 5 men from their coasts, men of valor from Zerah and from Ethol, to spy out the land.
And so, yeah, they went up there, but they was following this guy. Dan was listening to this Levite priest that came from Judah, dwelt in Judah, and he became the priest over the tribe of Dan. We're going to cut through some of this, and then we're going to, did you finish reading that verse?
No.
Okay, read on.
And to search it, and they said unto them, go search the land. Who when they came to the Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, they lodged there.
Now, this guy Michael was a hired, it says in the 7th verse, and there was a young man out of Bethel, Judah, of the family of Judah, who was a Levite, and he sojourned there. So this guy Michael, was like a hired priest, and he had idols and all that, getting ready to set Dan and the northern kingdoms up for that worship up there in Dan's land. To make the long story short, and so they went up there to show you. They went up there around Zidon. Skip down to the 7th verse of the 18th chapter.
Then the 5 men departed and came to Laash and saw the people that were therein, how they dwelt careless after the manner of Zidon, quiet and secure. And there was no magistrate in the land that might put them to shame in anything. And they were far from the Zidonians and had no business with any man.
So up there in that area was kind of barren. They didn't have to go up against the Zidon, which was Canaan, with Hamites up there, Canaanite. And so they went on up there in the northeast and took the land. Now check this out. Let's skip around. All right, and this priest right here, helps defile them and set them up. Go to the 27th verse. We're skipping around.
Judges 27 and
18
and
27. Mm-hmm.
And they took the things which Micah had made and the priests which he had, and came unto Laash, unto a people that were at quiet and secure. And they smote them with the edge of the sword.
And so Micah, this priest, who's a Levitical priest, he had these idols. And then the guys that was going up there to set the land up for Dan, out of Dan, took these idols and so forth. And they went up there and they smoked the people up there by the edge of the sword and took that area. Read on.
And burnt the city with fire.
Right. Read on.
And there were no deliverers, because it was far from Zidon.
Mm-hmm.
And they had no business with any man.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in the valley that lieth by Bethrahab.
Right.
And they built a city and dwelt therein.
Right.
And they called the name of the city Dan.
Right.
After the name of Dan,
mm-hmm.
their father.
So they went up in the northeast section of the land of Israel, up there by Syria, and they took that second part because they were so big. Now, they so big now that back then, next to Judah, was the largest tribe in warriors. And now, in the last days, they totally disappeared. Okay. Read on.
Who was born unto Israel, howbeit the name of the city was Laash at the first.
Mm-hmm.
And the children of Dan said,
now slow this down. Now here's the kicker. Here's what happened to Dan.
And the children of Dan, this is Judges 18 and 30.
Right. Here's the catcher. Check this out.
And the children of Dan set up the graven image. And Jonathan, the son of Gershom.
Now, who is Gershom? Jonathan, the son of Gershom. Jonathan was a priest of Dan. From who? The son of Gershom. Who was Gershom? Gershom was Moses' line. Moses' son. So this guy named Jonathan, which came out of the son of Gershom. And then they put in there, now check this out, it's another slick move.
I see it too.
Listen to this, read the 30th verse, read it. We found Dan, Quam Dan, Bon Dan. We know where he at. Guess where he at? In America, with all the other tribes. This 30th verse proves that, without a shadow of a doubt. Read it.
And the children of Dan set up the graven image.
And they set up their graven image up there from this wicked priest, from Micaiah. And then it passed them. They took the idols from Micaiah, this Levitical priest, and then they gave it to Jonathan, which is the son of who? Read on.
And Jonathan, the son of Gershom.
Gershom is son of coming out of Moses' line. Read on.
The son of Manasseh.
Now see how slick they got. They said Gershom was the son of Manasseh. But when you look at the little letter next to Manasseh and you look in the precept columns, guess what it says who this Manasseh is? It says, the son of Gershom, the son of Manasseh, with a one next to that letter, that name Manasseh, and it says Moses. So Gershom was from the sons of Moses. So Moses' sons was the one that that was the priest that was over the tribe of Dan up there in their land to set up these idols and these calves. Wow. Just like they did and made Aaron set up the priest when Moses went up on the mountain to get the commandments and come down, and they was rivaling, and they had made Aaron, took the earrings out of their ears and made Aaron build them a calf. And so this is the same defilement. Read the 30th verse again.
And the children of Dan set up the graven image, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Manasseh.
Which really don't supposed to be Manasseh there. It's supposed to be the son of Moses. Read on.
He and his sons were priests to the tribe of Dan until the day of captivity of the land.
Until the day of the captivity of the land. They was priests. Moses' son Gershom, Jonathan, and Jonathan's sons that come out of Moses' loins was priests under Dan in the northern kingdom, the whole northern kingdom now, until they went into where? To the day of the captivity of the land. And guess what? Read on.
And they set them up Micah's graven image.
And they took that from another Levite and threatened him that had made those graven images, a Levite priest. Read on.
Which he made all the time that the house of Yah was in Shiloh.
Oh, okay, and that's where it came from. Now, these priests was priests for the northern kingdom, Gershom's Levitical priests, until the time that until the day of the captivity of the land. So what is it saying? It's saying the day of the captivity of the northern kingdom was in 722 BC. Under who came up against them? His name was Tiglath-Pileser the third. Other name was Pul. And he was of the Assyrian ruler, right? That's when the northern kingdom went into captivity. Tiglath-Pileser came and got them and put them in captivity. Now, let's see if I can get that right quick. Tributary to I'm the border Judah, Libya, the suburbs, Tiglath-Pileser. Now check this out. We're gonna get that. You gotta get that. Yeah. You got let's look it up. Okay. Tiglath-Pileser. Now Tiglath-Pileser, I got it. Look, see if you can take down the northern kingdom. I know that I got the scripture written. His name is right here. Look him up on your thing. I got him written down. Let's see if I got him. Proofs to say.
Tiglath.
Yeah, the captivity in the northern kingdom captivity.
Tiglath-Pileser the third.
Yeah, the northern kingdom captivity. Just put that in. I got the scriptures on that too. We gotta get that one. We can't pass that one up. Now, let me go.
Man, this how he look. This one.
Yeah, that's Tiglath-Pileser the third. Now, the scriptures on that is I don't know if you can see that, Tiglath-Pileser. And he was the one.
That's the spelling.
He was the one that took. Let me see if I can get Tiglath-Pileser here. He was the one that took Dan them into the captivity, the northern kingdom in the captivity. Now let's see where that happens at. All right. Yep, I got it. I got it. You want to go to 2 Kings? Oh yeah, you're gonna love this one.
2 Kings.
You're gonna love this one. We're gonna track Dan down. Yep. 2 Kings. Let's go from 2 Kings 15 and start at the 13th verse. This is the northern kingdom. And this is before they go into captivity, under the Assyrian captivity, under Tegla. Let's see if I can pronounce it right. Tegla Pileser the third, really. Okay. So you want to go to 2 Kings, the 15th chapter, and check this out.
Start from verse 1.
Yeah, start at 2 Kings, the 15th chapter, the 13th verse. Read that.
Shalom.
Yep.
The son of Jabesh began to reign in the 9 and 30th year of Uzziah, king of Judah, and he reigned a full month in Samaria.
Yeah, he ruled a full month. He didn't rule that long. Read on.
For Menahem, the son of Gidi, went up from Chaazaq, and came to Samaria and smote Shalom, the son of Jabesh, in Samaria, and slew him, and reigned in his stead.
This in his stead. So this was the northern kingdom, and they was wicked as hell, man. They was knocking each other off and taking those seats. And so this first guy, Shalom, he didn't rule about a month. And then this dude, Menahem, came and slaughtered him. And when you look up Tirzah, that's way up there by in Syria, and up there by the land in the land of Dan and so forth. Read on, 15th verse.
And the rest of the acts of Shalom and his conspiracy which he made, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel.
Read on.
The Menahem smote Tisha and all that were therein, and the coast thereof.
Yeah, that's right. Tipshah is up there around up there in Syria on the Euphrates up there. And so these northern kingdoms was getting them more territory up there. And read on.
From Tisha, because they opened not to him, therefore he smote it.
Yeah, when he went to put a siege on there behind, they didn't open the gate. So he put fire to him when he got up in there. Read on.
And all the women therein that were with child, he ripped up.
So he went up there and put some fire on them Syrians up there. He ripped the women up. So it was treacherous. Read on.
In the 9 and 30th year of Azariah, king of Judah, began Menahem, the son of Gidi, to reign over Israel, and reigned 10 years in Samaria.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He departed not all his days from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin.
Yeah, we all know what Jeroboam did. He set the pace. He set the tone for that. That's why the Mosai moved the southern kingdom to go up in war and take out a lot of them. Read on.
And Paul, the king of Assyria, came against the land.
Now, Paul is the same thing.
That's the same dude.
The same name that's another name for Tigla, for what's his name? Tiglath-Pileser. It's the same person. You know, it's the same person. Tiglath-Pileser is the same name. Another name is called Paul. Read on. 19.
Okay. And Paul, the king of Assyria, came against the land.
Mm-hmm.
And Menahem gave Paul 1,000 talents of silver.
And so when Tiglath-Pileser came up against Menahem, that northern king, Menahem gave him 1,000 pieces of silver. Read on.
That his hand might be with him to confirm the kingdom in his hand.
Yeah, to buy him off from coming and overtaking him. Read on. Read on.
And Menahem exacted the money of Israel, even of all the mighty men of wealth, of each hand, if each man 50 shekels of silver, to give to the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria turned back and stayed not there in the land.
Yeah, so he bought time. He just bought time. Because that Tiglath-Pileser, that line and all that over them Assyrians, they probably reigned decades, probably up to about 100 years or so. It was one of them after another. So a long line of those kings. And we had we had conflict with them. The northern kingdom had conflict with them. Because you already know they up there around that area up there in the north anyway. So the Most High is the one that put the battle in these kings' backs to come and take Israel, put them into captivity when they went being wicked. Read on.
And the rest of the acts of Menahem and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Menahem slept with his fathers, and Pekah, his son, reigned in his stead.
Okay, so Pekah reigned, and then after Pekah, Pekah was killed. He was killed by Pekah, conspired against him. We skipping down a little bit, and now we're going to go to the 27th verse. Now to show you that this is when the Dan went into captivity with the northern kingdom. Read that 27th verse.
In the 2 and 15th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekah, the son of Remaliah, began to reign over Israel and Samaria, and reigned 20 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin.
Mm-hmm.
In the day of Pekah, king of Israel, came Tiglath-Pileser,
Right.
king of Assyria, and took Ijon.
Now, when you look up Ijon, you go to, let's get the precept where Tiglath-Pileser took Ijon. Now, Ijon, 29b, going into the precept column, go to 1 Kings 15 and 20 and see what he took. Now, Tiglath-Pileser came and start taking the tribe into captivity. Now, let's see who he took first. What I said?
15 and 20. 1 Kings 15 and 20.
1 Kings 15 and 20. What does that say?
So Benadad hearkened unto the king Asa, and sent the captains of the host which he had against the cities of Israel, and smote Ijon and Dan and Abel.
Wait, where we at? 15?
Yeah, 15 and 20.
Okay.
So Benadad hearkened unto the king Asa, and sent the captains of the host which he had against the cities of Israel, and smote Ijon and Dan.
Ijon and Dan. Ijon is in Dan. So when you go back what we just read in 15, now back there they smoked Ijon and Dan. So that's Dan right there. Ijon is Dan. Now when you go back and read 2 Kings 15, 29, see what it says. Read it again.
In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, came Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, and took Ijon.
So he took Ijon, and so they took Dan. Where he took Dan at? Read on.
And Abel Beth Makkah, and Janiah, and Kadesh, and Hazar, and Gilead, and Galilee, all the lands of Naphtali, and carried them captive to Assyria.
Took Naphtali and Dan, which was two brothers. Took them into captivity in Assyria. That's where they went. So once they took them in captivity in Assyria, now we know where Dan went. He went into captivity in Assyria. Now, since he went into captivity in Assyria, let's go into the Apocrypha and see where he went after that. We know he went into captivity in Assyria, right? So Let's go into the Apocryphal. And we want to go to, you already know, you scholarly brothers already know where I'm going already. We go into second Esdras, so we keep in mind, Tyler Pazula took our John and Dan into Assyria.
Yep.
And now we're going to second Esdras, the 13th chapter, and the 40th verse. So check that out. And guess what? After Telephizar took Dan and Naphtali into captivity, they came back and reached up and got the other tribes and brought their behind in captivity too. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's see where, let's go to that. Let's show, since they took them in captivity, you can also go read the 16th chapter about Telephizar and cover and see how they took them. But guess what? This right here tell you about the 10 tribes. Now we done read them and show you Telephizar took Dan in Assyria. Now let's see what the Most High says in second Esdras, 41st. Second Esdras, 13th chapter, 41st.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Oshah, the king.
Okay, Hosea, well, it's supposed to be Hoshea the king. They just left it. They misspelled there, but it's Hoshea the king of Judah. And then Hoshea the king of and so forth. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea the king, whom, go ahead.
Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive.
See, Shalmaneser was the one that took the other portions of the other north parts of the northern kingdom into Assyria. Why? Who was Shalmaneser? Shalmaneser was the son of Tiglath-Pileser. That was his son. So, like I said, it was a line of them. And so Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, led them into captivity. Read on.
And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
So they came into another land. What was another land? You already know, Osiris, which means another land. What was another land? America. 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 Just like you find other tribes over here, that's where Dan came. Now, I don't deny that Israel scattered through the four corners and other nations, right?
Right.
They scattered there. You can say, well, Denmark, whatever you want to say, whatever. But the bulk of all the tribes came here.
Come.
Read on.
But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathens.
So they left the heathens over there in Assyria after they came out of that captivity. Read on.
And go forth into further country where never mankind dwelt.
When nobody dwelling over here. When nobody to the 10 tribes came here, when nobody dwelling over here. I don't care nothing about all them other history books and them lies that these other African-eccentric Jakes talking about. And, it was somebody else. And here, the scripture where no man dwelt, when nobody over here. They broke that land. They were the 10 tribes was the one that set this up. Where never man dwelt. Read on.
That they might keep their statutes.
So they came here to keep the law. So when the 10 tribes came here after that captivity, they came here correct. They came here to keep the law. That's why Gad and other tribes and had the fringes on their garment, was the dietary law, was keeping the customs. That's why when Columbus came here, when he came here with those ships and to meet the people after the expulsion out of Spain under Ferdinand and all them other ones, and Isabella went up, the Israelites expelled, went up into the Maghreb. the other ones came here to the Americas to join the 10 tribes here. And Columbus said he had interpreters on those ships. And the interpreters he had on there spoke what? Hebrew. And so they came here to meet up with the other Judah, Benjamin, and Levites from over there in Europe, over in that area, came over here to join in with the 10 tribes here. And so it says they came here, but they took to this counsel among themselves that they would lead the multitude of the heathen, read on, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. 42nd, read that.
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Yeah, so they got a new start. That was the 10 tribes, including Dan. So what did that tell me? We don't have them on the sign. Now what we gonna do? You gonna put them on the sign? Don't find my brother Dan. All right, read on.
And they enter into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river.
Mm-hmm.
For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood.
And the Most High, he set it up that he can come out of it. It was an angelic intervention. Most High protected them coming up, the 10 tribes coming over here just like he protected Israel leaving out of Egypt. That's what he's saying. That's what I get out of that scripture. Read on.
Till they were passed over.
Mm-hmm.
For through that country, there was a great way to go,
mm-hmm.
namely of a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And the same region is called Asaret.
Asaret, which means another land. That's what American means, Asaret, another land. Read on.
Then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the spring of the stream again, that they may go through.
See that? So the Most High going to deliver all the 10 tribes out of here, which is the 12 tribes and came together, and we're going to come up out of here. We're going to come up out of here, including with his brother Dan, that everybody forgot. So you need to put him on the sign, because he's there. You need to put Joseph there, and then Ephraim and Manasseh, right there under Joseph, because that's their father. And then you can put Dan there. And you can put unknown, since we don't know who he is yet, but we know he's here. But I got a good idea who he possibly could be. But I'll speak on that another time. So we need to look for our brother. But we found him. We found him in the records. He came to America. Read on.
Therefore, showeth thou the multitude with peace.
Okay. So that's it on that. And let's go to James, the first chapter. Dan came here. He's right here in America. Yep. You're going to James, you already know. All you biblical scholars. Okay. James, right after Peter, 2 Peter, and he right up there around Hebrew, John, and all of that.
Yeah, James, the first chapter.
Let's see what it says, the first verse. Read that.
James, the servant of Yah and of the Lord Yahushua, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
They're scattered over here. 12 tribes. 12 tribes. Read it again.
James, the servant of Yah and of the Lord Yahushua, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
12 tribes scattered abroad. And Dan is in that. So let's see what else we want to hit.
John 5 and Isaiah 1.
Okay, let's get that. And we ready we can ready to close it up, but we got a couple other verses we want to talk about. And we're going to John. So when you have this Passover in the next month or so, you brothers, make sure you say Bundan Quam Dan. And that vibe got to come out. And Christ said, we need to get that one too once you find that one, because if you got 100 sheep and one of them get lost, you lead 100, go find the one. So we know Bundan Quam Dan.
We're going to John 5:39. That's what you want?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's what I said, right?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Read that.
John 5:39.
Mm-hmm.
Search the scriptures for them. Ye think ye have eternal life.
What did Christ say? Search the scriptures, man. Search the scriptures. That's what's wrong with a lot of brothers. You're not studying. You got to search the scriptures. Everything is in the scriptures. That's why some brothers fall, because they lean on some of these other brothers and mimic them so much that they don't go into the book and study for themselves, that they can stand on their own 2 feet. You got to search these scriptures, man. And the Most High show it to you. So what was the other one?
That's John 5. You got Romans 11:1.
Yeah, I think we read that. Okay. And now give me Isaiah 9.
You want Isaiah 9?
I had another one over there.
Is it Isaiah 34:16 or Isaiah 9:16?
Okay, yeah. Give me Isaiah 34:16. You got to search the scriptures. You got to search the scriptures. And why your leaders ain't telling you this? Why your leaders ain't telling you this? Yeah. I'm going to continue to come forth. If you want to send donations to help this ministry continue on, you can. If not, we're going to keep doing it just like we're doing it. You can figure out how to send out your donations or whatever to help keep this going. But we're going to come forth. What's my... if you want to send donations, you can send it to Chaazaq Cash App. We'll give you that information later on. And whatever you want to do, we're going to continue to do this. We got some other things to bring forth. And I'm not going nowhere. I'm not here to knock your other brothers and all of that. And whatever you do, those are your flock. That's what you got. And that's fine. But there's the harvest is great and labors are few. Some of you want to know where I went and all that.
Right here.
Right here. I've been here the whole time. Went north, south, east, and west to meet with brothers and so forth. And years now to try to build back. But, I don't know what's going on with the other groups. I'm just trying to stay in my lane and do what I got to do. And when I hear something out there that's being taught wrong, you will see me come on the Lions Den. Most High in Christ bless the Lions Den for allowing me to come forth. And a lot of the other cats, you forgot the old man. But that's fine. I'm all right. And we're going to continue to bring this word out. What I said?
You said Isaiah 34:16.
Read that.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. I'm talking to all of Israel. Study, man. Study to show thyself approved. You understand? So when you know when these guys are going off in the word. You understand? This is not to attack anybody. I didn't come on here to do all of that. A lot of brothers talk about the 12 tribe chart and all that. Well, there's good things about that chart. I still deal with it. I believe that it's right about Gad. I believe it's right about Issachar. I believe it's right about several other ones. But There's certain things in there in the chart based on the marks of the tribes and so forth, so you can identify the tribe. But we know there's 12 tribes, and if you want to put Joseph back in his spot, it's 12. If you take Joseph out and put Ephraim and Manasseh where Joseph at, guess what? It's 13. And so if you can get that number down, you read that?
No, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail.
None of these scriptures none of this gonna fail. Read on.
None shall want her mate.
Can no book match the Bible? It's called causative authority. And what does causative authority mean? Let me read. Causative authority, a term used in describing the power of the Bible of attesting itself as divine truth, independently of any external proof. That's what I stand on. I stand on the word. When you come out the word, you guys like to go out there and debate. When you go out there and debate these other Egyptologists and all these other cats, you got to stand in the scriptures. Let them come on your platform. Because you go over there in their platform, they got all kind of trickology words and all this other crap. And most of the things they studied, they got from who? Esau and the scholars. And they like to take these high titles, doctor this. Who made you a doctor, dude? Esau educational system. A science falsely called. No, all you Israelites, you stick in this word. When we was out there, could nobody come and debate with us. Nobody can make us look bad. They come one way at us and they flee 7. That's your strength, this word. Stick in the word. And I've been thinking about a few brothers I want to make an shout out to. Chaazaq, how you doing? Shekiah, where's Shekiah at? These are great brothers. I just want to mention your names. You've been in my thoughts. Arika, Chaazaq, brother. He's the one that gave us the business with the oils and so forth, and we brought that forth. Chaazaq, lawyer brother. There's many other lawyer brothers. Lakmaba, hope you well. Got the brother Malak. Thank you, brother, for all of your loyalty and what you dealt with us in a positive way. And Shala, there's many other brothers I would like to mention, So, and by the way, I don't know what's going on in 1941, but the wisest one that I left when I left them up there was that should be still up there is what's his name? What's the brother name? I'm gonna get your name. Oh, your name been in my mind for a while, but we'll come back there. That's the spirit just cold blocked me on that. It'll come back. It'll come back. Come. He was the wisest one up there when I left him up there under the so-called other elders that was going left and right, and all of them came together with apostles, the 12 apostles, that tried to derail me and to destroy me. But the Most High prevailed. I'm still here. I'm still thriving. You understand? The scripture said they would desire to take away your excellency. You're going to have brothers and sisters jealous of you, and they're going to be jealous of the sisters too. There's positive sisters too. Where's Dinah at? Leah's daughter. You know where she at? She's out here too, bro. Israel's jacked up. Y'all need to go in there and get Dinah out of them script clubs and start respecting our women again. Start respecting these sisters. There should be no sister of Israel on the streets, living as homeless and all of that. Some of these men, we can deal with that. But you see these sisters out there, you need to help these sisters, bro. You brothers sitting on resources, stop going in there You know, we all guilty. We all guilty. All of us falling short of the glory of the Most High. You understand? And so we got to clean up. Israel got to clean up. You know, I had to go through my purification and repent and so forth. And so I just want to put that out there. Kakam was the wisest one left up there. They all signed that 12 apostle petition to throw me up out of there. But I'm still going because I ain't going there and talk to you know who. I won't even mention his name. Not even here. You know, and all these demagogues, these cats that you looking up to, you understand? They just like men, they're just like you. And they've destroyed a lot of these people, but I ain't here for that, you know? And even Tahar that came and said a whole lot of negative stuff after I came out. I don't hate you, bro. I don't hate none of y'all. I just want to see y'all do right. And by the way, if I had to take somebody to war with me back in the day, it was daggone sure be Tahar. But he's a warrior. And I came down to town one day, and 34th Street, I was put over the camps, and I had to go around and check on all the camps. And I come down 34th Street, check the camp. The camp was in disarray. Tahar was over that camp at that time. And they was whipping Esau behind all up and down the street. And I came up, I said, hold up, brother. What the hell is going on? And they didn't get no teaching done that day. I said, all y'all pack up and get out of here, man. But I remember the good things the brother did and was doing. And when we was together, like I said before, Satan came to destroy the priesthood. That's what he did. He divided us. And all you guys is in these heresies and all that, guess what? You could come out of it if you humble yourself. But if you don't humble yourself and repent, you're going to stay just like that, man. And it's a bad thing because every outer word that come out of your mouth going to be judged. Not only I'm going to be judged, we all going to be judged. And we in the last days. I just wanted to give credence and a shout out to the people that I shouted out to. What we got for us, Chaazaq? That's it.
Yeah, we got John. You said we did that. We got
yeah. But I just had to say that, man. I don't hate none of you guys. I don't hate none of you guys. I know what you did. I know what you did. Okay. I know what all you did. I know what I did. All right. And if you don't stop that, what you're doing, you're destroying people. Okay. You did?
Yeah.
All right. So I want to read one more verse. Go get Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. Ezekiel 38. Now here's what's going to happen. We all going to come back together whether we want to or not. And I'm giving you brothers the benefit of the doubt because I don't hold grudges and malice in my heart. And I ain't afraid of nothing but the Most High in Christ. You already know that. You should know. If you don't, you better ask somebody. And but I give place and peace to everything. Melchizedek is about peace. He's a prince of peace, prince of righteousness. So Ezekiel 38 or 30, is it 38 or 37? Let's see. Let's see. Valley of the Dry Bone. Ezekiel 38, we're going to be restored 15 to the 18th verse. You don't mind reading that? Because
the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it, for Judah and for the children of Israel,
And
his
that-
companions.
And Judah and Israel for this companion. Judah and Israel. Judah and the other tribes, the 12 tribes. Read on.
Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph.
And Joseph, you know, he was over the northern kingdom. Read on.
The stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand.
And we're going to become one in our hand. We're going to become one stick. Read on.
And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, will thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
Mm-hmm.
Say unto them, thus saith the Lord, the power. Behold, I will take sticks of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribe of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick.
We all gonna come one. None of us better than none of the others. You might think you are, but we all the same. And the ones that don't want to be a part and ain't gonna act right, you already know what's gonna happen to you. Read on.
And they shall be one in my hand, and the stick whereon thou writest shall be in the hand before their eyes.
And the Most High gonna have his one stick in his hand. Read on.
And say unto them, thus saith the Lord, power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen.
We're gonna come from among these heathens. Read on.
Whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land.
And we're gonna come back into Israel. That's our land. They're over there fighting in Gaza and killing them folks over there. That's our land. They don't belong over there. Oatmeal man like Gil Scott Heron, they coming up out of there. They're gonna go back, but we're gonna put them right back where they supposed to be. Read on.
And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountain of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all.
Now this is where they going off about David. And David is gonna sit on the throne through his son Christ. Because Christ come out of the loin of David. And that's how David gonna sit on the throne. He's gonna be David coming out, sitting on the throne. He's gonna be a prince among us. Read on.
And they shall be no more two nations.
And there ain't gonna be no more two nations. Read on.
Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms.
And neither shall we be divided into two kingdoms. Read on.
Any more at all.
Any more at all. Read on.
Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols.
We ain't gonna be fouled no more with idols. Read on.
Nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places, wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them.
That's right.
So shall they be my people, and I will be their power.
Read on.
And David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they all shall have one shepherd.
That one shepherd and one king is Yahushua. Read on.
They shall also walk in my judgment and observe my statutes and do them. And
Right.
they shall dwell there in the land that I have given unto Jacob, my servant, wherein your father have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. Moreover,
that's what he's gonna be. He's gonna be a prince. He's gonna be in the kingdom, but he's gonna be a prince among us. Yahushua sitting on the throne, bro. Not David. Yahushua. Read on. Hamashiach Yahushua.
Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and I will set my sanctuaries in the midst of them forevermore. Forevermore. My tabernacles also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their power, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord. Do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forever, evermore. Amen.
Amen. And let's finish up on Luke, first chapter. Show you that Christ is going to sit on the throne. He's going to sit on the throne. That's what we're supposed to be talking about. We're not supposed to be talking about all this other stuff. Passover's for Christ. This whole world is for Christ. He made it for himself. and for Israel, his people, to enjoy. It ain't about nobody else. It's about Yahweh Shai. It ain't about putting no man up, this guy, that guy, not even the forefathers. It's about Yahweh Shai. That's what it's about. Luke 1 and 31 and 32. Chaazaq, please. And 3. That's 3 verses. And we're going to end it on that.
Luke 1:31. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son, and shalt call his name Yahushua.
The Mary conceived through Joseph, and his name was called Yahushua. Read on.
He shall be great, and he shall be called the Son of the Highest.
He shall be great and shall be called the Son of the Highest. Read on.
And the Lord power shall give unto him the throne of his father David.
And the Most High shall give unto him the throne of his father David.
And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever.
And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever.
And of his kingdom there shall be no end.
And of this kingdom there shall be no end. Amen. So with that, I'd like to thank Karima, Yeshaya, all the people that allowed me to come on the lines, Dan, and to bring this out about Dan. And
There's your cash app.
yeah.
$.
And all of you that want to help this, if you choose to, you can send through Cash App, you can a donation, and it says a $ Priest Chaazaq, led by $. And you can send a donation and to help this, so we can continue on. If not, fine. We're gonna continue going on. We're gonna do it just like we're going to keep doing it. With that, I'd like to say shalom to all of Israel. Shabbat shalom. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarakatham. Yahweh Shema'atan to the sisters. And Bondan, Kwamdan, so that's what this was all about, this show. And Kwam Yasha'Allah, rise up Israel. Until we talk again and see each other again, shalom.
Thanks. Appreciate you coming in. I hope y'all enjoyed the information. Please take down the Cash App and support the brother. He's going to bring out some more information. Please hit the like, share the information, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in.
And with that, we say shalom and peace to the people that are watching the show. Support the elder because he's been doing this work for a long time. He's been pulling out a lot of information. So with that, we're going to close up. We're going to say shalom to everybody. Have a great night.